are listening to LOA Recon with the Good Vibe Coach Jeanette Ma, where we dissect the ins and outs and the art and science of conscious creation, all intended to amp up your manifesting game. Let's have some fun together. Thank you for tuning in for another episode. We're recording this one without Harvey here because, well, he was here a minute ago, but he just got up to leave. This guy, he's got some sneezing going on. I got a text from Charlie's mom the other day that, she had to take him to the ER. She took him to the emergency vet because she was so concerned what was going on with him. It turns out he had some sort of upper respiratory infection, and the vet said, probably don't let him play with other dogs. Well, I mean, he'd just been playing with Harvey 2 days prior to that. So, yeah, Harvey started sneezing a few days ago. His symptoms aren't nearly as bad as Charlie's. Hopefully they won't get worse. But, Harvey's, I can hear him sneezing in the other room right now. Hey, you know what? This episode is probably a good time for us all to set an intention about what you want to get out of it. I did that before I started recording, but I'd like you to do the same because this can be a tricky topic sometimes. A trippy topic. Could be a little tricky. So I set an intention for us to feel empowerment and relief and support and a sense of possibility and well-being and confidence and then some more empowerment. But I would like you to just focus on whatever you'd like to get out of it, because today we're talking about 10 LOA-friendly things to do when the bank account is dwindling and you're feeling anxious about money. You know, that can be an easy time to let fear-based thoughts run rampant. And that's exactly what we don't want at a time like that. Because in order to let the money in that's queued up, waiting for us to receive it, we've got to find a way to feel better. And that doesn't happen when we keep ruminating on worst-case scenarios or telling ourselves negative what-if stories. So set a good intention and let's talk about 10 LOA-savvy things you can do as a conscious creator to stop the financial drain and turn it around to experience financial abundance and well-being again. First on my list, this is one that not every LOA teacher emphasizes, but I think it's important, probably because we aren't often reminded about the value of feeling our feelings. Those of us who know that we get what we vibrate sometimes find ourselves resisting feeling anything that doesn't feel good because we don't want to create that. But we also know that what we resist persists. And once that feeling's present, look, I'm not saying we feel our feelings in order to get rid of them. We feel them because they're there and because we're too smart to be in resistance to them. Once they're there. Sometimes maybe you can head it off at the pass before it gets a lot of momentum by just redirecting your thoughts. But if you've got something like fear or shame or judgment or guilt or resentment or anything that might be associated with what you've been thinking about lately, it can be helpful to be willing to process those feelings. And that doesn't have to take a long time. You might have to do it more than once, but we're doing ourselves a disservice when we skip this step because what we resist persists. And if I would just take a couple of minutes to feel those feelings, it can help me clear my vibrational slate so I have an easier place to work from for my vibration management work ahead of me. All right, so I just wanted to mention that first, that your feelings are not a problem when you let them move through you, so you can be present to them, let them complete. And as Abraham would say, you don't make a career out of it. We know not to get stuck in those. Feeling them is what allows them to finish. And yes, maybe we do it more than once, but we're more likely to create problems for ourselves by being unwilling to feel them. So feel the feelings. That's number one. Number two. Oh, hello, the power of a deep breath. You know it. In fact, you might want to take one right now because doesn't it feel good to just take a deep breath? No matter what our mood is, it always feels good, but especially when gremlins are running rampant or when we're in the grip of fear, taking 3 deep breaths can help break that evil spell. I read someone once say that this was how angels transmitted information to us. It was through the breath. It literally came through oxygen into our body. But I read something else recently that said, the breath is our connection to source. So when we take a deep breath, we're restoring our source connection. We're becoming more of who we really are. And that's a vibrational improvement right there. So take a couple of deep breaths. That can help when you feel anxiety rising or when you notice you're in the grip of fear. Just a couple of deep breaths can help. Okay, number 3. Ooh, I like this one too. I probably like this whole list considering I'm the one who created it. Let's not forget the power of contrast. This current situation that we don't like all that much, it's actually working for us. Conscious creators know this, not everyone does, but we do. We know that life expands through this kind of contrast, through this experiencing what we don't want. That's what strengthens our desire or creates new desires. It's what starts the whole party. GVU members, when they join, I mail them a little process that it's a graphic of the manifesting process intended to go on their fridge or their desk or somewhere where they'll see it and remember the manifesting steps. And the first one is contrast. That's where the party starts. So this situation that you're not loving financially, this is where really good things come from. And sometimes that stronger desire is all we need in order to manifest what we want. Yes, it's nice if we've got strong belief to go along with it. Remember, when we've got strong desire and strong belief in place, we're unstoppable. But even without belief, if all we had going for us was strong desire, that in itself can sometimes be enough of a tipping point to allow what we want to unfold in our reality. So just remember that this current financial contrast, it might be the setup that takes you to a whole new experience of financial well-being and abundance. And if you knew that that was the case, you wouldn't be fretting about this, right? You'd probably be welcoming it. You'd probably be celebrating it. And look, we know that's not hypothetical. That's all contrast does, is take us somewhere better. When we let it anyway, and we're too smart to get stuck. We know not to get fixated on what we don't want. We know how to let contrast make things even better. So that's the third thing. Remember the power of contrast. Okay, the fourth LOA-friendly thing we can do. Hello, let's not suffer solo through this. Remember to call in your divine helpers. You've got a divine team, right? We might all call on someone different. Maybe you call on angels or guides or God or your higher self or source or universal manager, whoever you like to call on. Yeah, call them in. Don't do this by yourself. And I'm not even going to say this. I'm not going to word it that we're asking them for help, because I like thinking of it better as we're giving our team a clear instruction. We're not asking for help like we're needy and powerless. We're calling in support like we're empowered and resourceful and savvy. Right? Even if our instruction to our divine helpers is just, help me feel better. That works. That works. Or you might ask them to give you a sign that everything's going to be okay, or to show you a reason to relax, or whatever you want. Call in your big helpers. You don't have to do this all solo. Sometimes we forget that. All right, number 5. I just looked at the time. I was trying to have this be under 10 minutes. I guess we're going to be over. Okay, number 5. List reasons to believe all is well. One of my favorite things to do. Okay, it's either list reasons to believe that everything's okay or that it's going to be okay in the near future. Reminding yourself why it's okay or why it will turn out well, that's a good way to harness your attention in a way that serves you. Instead of ruminating on worst-case scenarios, ruminate on reasons to believe. You get to make those up. It's different for each of us. What works for me might not work for you, but might be something like, look, I've been here before. I've survived it before. I know what to do. It's not my first rodeo. Money's just energy, and I'm really good at working with energy. I'm doing it right now. Maybe it's a reason to believe might be, there's money in my vortex, and I know what it feels like to have it. Maybe it's that my inner guidance knows the way there, and I know how to listen to and honor that guidance. Or maybe a reason to believe might be sometimes things don't come together until they've gotten properly scary. Sometimes. Maybe it's that I know how to keep my cool through this process. I've got this. Maybe it's that I've got a backup plan, like whether it's to get a job or get a loan or a roommate or to ask for help from someone or to sell something, or that this is what bankruptcy's for, or that things can turn around on a dime, or maybe it's that I'm doing the work right now to be a match for good money news. That might be my reason to believe that things are going to get better. Your list will be different than mine, and it isn't important that we get a long one. The point is just to get a couple of reasons in mind to believe that things are going to turn out well, so we can use that to turn our attention. Remember Tony Robbins when he was in the race car driving school and they were learning how to control a skid? And in the classroom, the instructor said, whatever you do, don't look at when the car starts to skid, don't look at the wall. It's everyone's, first reaction to stare at the wall, but don't do that because the car will go wherever you're looking. And Tony laughed off the instructor and he said, I teach people this for a living. I got this. Then they were out on the track. They were driving around, and when Tony wasn't expecting it, the instructor initiated the skid, and Tony said he was like a deer in the headlights staring straight at the wall. He said it's like I needed to see the death happen, and his instructor had to reach over and physically turn his head to look at the track. That's what we're doing with our list of reasons to believe. It's what we use to turn our attention to look at the track. It can be really effective. I'm a fan of that. When my contrast is, when it's up, I like reminding myself reasons to believe that it's going to be okay. Okay, number 6. Oh, this is kind of related. It's to find thoughts that feel better. Any thought that doesn't feel good, that's a sign that your inner being or source sees it differently. So when you're thinking a thought that doesn't feel fabulous, that's your cue to find thought that feels better, to get more lined up. Because when you're lined up, that's how the money comes in. So it might be thoughts like, any thought that feels better, that I know I can have whatever I'm willing to vibrate. I know how conscious creation works. I'm good at it. I'm doing it right now. I don't have to solve this problem. All I have to do is find a way to feel better, even just a little bit better. And I can do that right now. I just did it when I took 3 deep breaths. Maybe a thought that feels better is, everything's unfolding perfectly. I'm going to laugh about this later and be so proud of myself. Or maybe it's that, I'm not going to be so easy to scare next time around. I'm growing my manifesting chops here. Or any thought that feels better. That might feel really similar to finding reasons to believe, but it can be a little bit different. So thoughts that feel better, they are your friend in this scenario. If that's all you did, you would be home free. Okay, I don't think I need to give any more examples of those because I don't want this to be super long. Number 7. Ooh, I like this one too. Priming the energy pump by handling tolerations. When it seems like you can't do anything about your money, you can get empowered in a different way. You can find some other way to feel better. That can include things like handling whatever irritations or whatever's been bothering you. It could be something as simple as taking the giveaway boxes to the donation center so you can stop looking at them in the garage. Or maybe it's to clean out the fridge. Or maybe it's to throw out those socks that have a hole in it. Or maybe it's to go through your inbox. And maybe it's to establish a healthy boundary where it's being called for in your life. Or anything that helps you feel better. When you notice what's dragging your energy down, handle that in some form or fashion, because you'll get that instant alignment from recapturing that lost energy. It's an easy way to upgrade your vibration. So just because you've got money stress right now is no excuse to stop managing your vibration in other ways. You can do something right now to feel better that isn't money related, and it counts for your money because everything is energetically related. You can also feel better. It doesn't just to be handling a toleration. You can do anything that feels better. But sometimes we forget to do that. When we're worried about money, we're just so worried about money, we forget the importance of finding a way to feel better. I like handling tolerations because, it's effective for me. Okay, number 8. Love the money that you've got. When I started this list, this was my favorite thing. This is my favorite one. I'd listed it first, but I thought, maybe we better warm up to it. So look, when our bank account is dwindling, that means we still have some money in there. Even if it's not very much, even if it's way less than what we want, we've still got some. So we could use that reality to shift our attention to, I still got money, instead of dwindling money. Right? It's the same reality, but a different perspective, and that means a different vibration. And you don't even need imagination to improve that vibrational instruction. You just find the aspect of reality that serves you instead of fixating on the perspective that doesn't serve you. It's kind of like, half empty versus half full. And you might be like, Jeanette, it's more like 90% empty and 10% full. But whatever it is, if all we're doing is focusing on the 10% that is there, that's how we grow it. Remember when Abraham talks about how a person could have, or a job, a situation, it could have 9 negative things and only 1 positive one. And if you focus on the 1 positive one, you will transform that circumstance or person. And vice versa. It could have 9 amazing things and only 1 problem. And if you focus on the 1 problem, you will transform it, because our focus is everything. So even if there's only a little bit left, focusing on, hey, I've still got money. That is way better than focusing on the money's gone or the money's going. You know what I mean. Love the money that you've got. I'm reminded of, I quote this guy all the time. I forget his name. He's online as the morning coach. I got to remember his name. I quote him all the time. He was talking to bloggers at a conference, and he was on a panel, and someone was complaining about, they're new to blogging. They don't have any readers. And he said something along the lines of, just love the readers that you've got. Even if you've only got 12 readers, love the 12 that you've got. Look what Jesus did with his 12, he says. I just love that reminder so much. Focus on the money that you've got instead of what's not there anymore. Okay, number 9. Practice what it feels like to feel okay about money. This is an important one, that we don't let ourselves entrain to money stress. We want to get good at throwing some good vibes in there and give universe something good to work with. We can do that by either imagining or remembering or scripting, making it up, or drafting, noticing someone else's experience, feeling what that would feel like if we were them, finding some way to feel better about money or to feel some sort of confidence about our financial situation. You can practice that. And I think it's important to do that when we've been practicing the opposite for a while. Practice what you prefer. Okay, that was number 9. Number 10 is, I have 11 here somehow. That's right, because my reasons to believe and find a better feeling thought, I didn't know if those were 1 or 2. Okay, so beef up your receiving skills. Yeah. I would love it. I would love it if you'd remind yourself that you know how to receive good things. And you could receive anything that would count for that, like receiving a compliment or letting someone do you a favor, or like letting someone else eat the first pancake or the more burned slice of toast, or use the expensive lotion or the good bubble bath, or enjoy the sunset or all the other gifts that nature is bringing us every day. Like, just make sure that you know what it is to receive something good. Because sometimes we get into a habit of deprivation or going without, and that is not the vibrational tone we want to set for our turnaround. You know what I mean? So beef up your receiving skills. Hey, if you go to ultimatereceivingchallenge.com, I've got a sign-up page where I will send you a video a day for 7 days. Some of you have already received this. That's where I just have one exercise every day for how to become a better receiver. Actually, I still really like that challenge. Okay, number 11. Ooh, this is a good one too. Remember who you are. Remember your role in all of this. You're not a victim. You're a conscious creator. So stop feeling like this bad thing is happening to you and remember that you're calling the shots here. Your empowerment and your good vibrations are not dependent on your bank account status. That's worth remembering and practicing. Because sometimes I see people in this mode where they feel powerless and a little bit, I don't want to say victimized, but like it's something that's happening to them. And that's not a good vibration for us for creating what we want. I'm not saying this so that you blame yourself for what you're experiencing, but that you remember your power to create something different. And this has served you in some form or fashion. You don't need to know what that is, but just know that, look, you're a conscious creator. You know how this works. You know what? Actually, I have a really long list here. Those are a handful of ways, but there are many more things you can do to shift your vibration. And that's all you need to do in order to let the money flow in that you've been calling for. You can just listen to your guidance about whatever will serve you best, whether it's something I shared here or something totally different, like activating appreciation or using a money meditation. Hello, Abraham has a really cool vortex meditation. Ooh, but I got one from Eva Gregory years ago. Oh, she didn't create it, but she didn't know the source of it, I don't think. Anyway, I don't know who to credit for, but it is so good. We've got it posted at GVU. I don't have it in front of me, but it is so cool. You read that thing. There's no way you read that thing and don't feel better about money at the end of it. It's amazing. You could also do a money treatment, like a feng shui treatment or a manifesting method or, acting as if, or a list of, what you want and why you want it. There's so many money manifesting techniques you could engage, or you could just get connected to a helpful resource, like listening to Abraham on YouTube, or your favorite money author, or immersing in some money success stories from fellow creators. We've got those at GVU. You know what else we have at GVU? Courses. The Money Aligner, that's one of my favorite money courses that I've done. I used that it wasn't when my money was dwindling, but I had clearly hit a financial set point, and I'd been doing things prior and nothing was moving it. The Money Aligner moved it. I almost doubled my money after that course. Wow, that was pretty impressive because I was already making good money before that, but listen to your guidance about what will serve you best. There are a few ideas here, but there are many more you can play with. The key here is to remember that it's not as bad as it seems right now. As you find thoughts that feel better and you engage what you know about vibration management methods, you're allowing yourself to receive those benefits that this contrast has called forth. And you'll be glad for it on the other side of it. I hope something was helpful here. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and happy manifesting.